£26,543.21. Just don't miss out as lines close on the 26th of June.
For a chance to win, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What we're going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Dawdley, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
All too often, people will be sitting at home watching a press conference live, and they'll hear loads of questions being asked, and they'll be thinking, that's not my question. That's not my concern.
We don't care whose feathers we ruffle. We ask the questions that you want answering.
You're all standing on the street protesting and want to have an open discussion.
My name's Patrick Christie's. I do a show for GB News in the UK. Is it possible to talk to you quickly?
Journalism in this country has been a cosy world full of groupthink until now.
Well, this is the best view ever of Whitehall, looking out across all the tractor drivers of England who've come together to make their point.
Hello, so as you can see, I'm here in Westminster as the protest begins.
Yes, I'm very much in the thick of it.
Look, we're challenging narratives here at GB News, and that's what sets us apart.
It's been a busy week. Yes, it's Saturday night, and this is the Saturday 5, the UK's biggest Saturday night TV show. I am Lefty Lovey and matcha drinking metropolitan man Kai Wilshaw, ready for a pummeling with a new look cast. Based and bougie, Dr. Renee Hunderkamp, Lizzie Cundy and Trey Lowe. Tonight on the show.
Apparently paedophiles deserve human rights.
Another baby dies thanks to DEI. Still no defence spending from Starmer, but don't worry, I'm here to help.
Makerfield, the death of reform. And Andy Burnham can save the Labour Party and the country. Yes, it's 6 p.m, and this is the Saturday 5. Good evening, loyal viewers. Friends, did you miss me? Yes, I'm indeed. Yeah, I knew you'd say no. No, I'm indeed back in the hot seat tonight by the command of Andy Burnham, the King of the North himself, who, as his first act as Prime Minister in waiting, has taken out all the contenders for the Saturday 5 crown. Darren Grimes had his chips and gravy poisoned.
By me.
Oh, goodness me.
Oh, I love him.
It's a bit early on Saturday not to be admitting to a crime. Will Kingston had his small boat shot down personally by Shabana Mahmood herself. And Renee. And so, by process of elimination, you've got me. I was thinking earlier, it does feel a bit like British politics is stuck in 2015. Andy Burnham is vying to be leader of the Labour Party. A right-wing party helmed by Nigel Farage is surging in the polls. And tonight, spoiler alert, we are still talking about Brexit. How things change, eh? But before you start thinking this is the Saturday 5 woke edition, and Colin Chapman has said, here we go, the DEI show. And to be fair, the lineup does look a bit like Sarah Pochin's worst nightmare. Let's just reassure you all about the panel here tonight. Preston Bougie, welcome back.
Thank you.
You might be more softly spoken than some of the rest of us, but I think you might be furthest to the right. What do you think, Based?
I definitely am furthest to the right. Considering my skin colour, might be a bit of a shock.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to us all hashing that out very shortly. Dr. Renee Hundekamp, there's a note here from me to me when I was writing the autocue, kind to think of a joke. Renee, can you think of a joke for me?
Well, I did answer this before we started, didn't I? So why didn't you just say Dr. Rennie is a joke?
I would never call you a joke. I would never call you a joke. I, however, did remember to put something very funny in about Lizzie Cundy.
Oh, I see. I see.
Very funny. The never to be underestimated glamazon, yeah, don't underestimate at your peril, whose air miles are higher than her hemlines.
I just want to ask, am I OK? Am I dressed correctly
you are
for the
dressed
show?
very
you look fabulous.
I can see your cleavage.
Well, that's OK. I'm allowed in. I'm allowed in with that.
Goodness me.
We won't mention Ascot.
Well, no, we will. We'll discuss that later on. If you're a reader of... which tabloid has been covering you this weekend?
Everywhere, darling. From
everywhere.
New York, Dubai, London, you name it.
Wow. Goodness me. She's everywhere, everybody. But thank God she is also here. You might remember she travelled in via helicopter. Helicopter to the last show. Trey, not sure what the Lib Dem version of a champagne socialist is, but you were at Ascot this week.
I was at Ascot, and it was absolutely brilliant. I'm going to be sharing a little bit about... there's a lovely picture of me with the missus in lovely Notting Hill on our way. It was beautiful. It was absolutely amazing, actually. I think that's the first time I've worn, like, a morning suit in my life, potentially, being a former musician. Yeah, I've not ever been a fan of dressing so formally, but I have to admit, I think I look pretty fabulous.
You're not
allowed to compliment
No
yourself.
modesty here. No modesty here. No, I actually really loved that look. It was brilliant, you know, and I got to see King Charles as well, which was an absolute pleasure. It was brilliant. Absolutely.
You know, I grew up with the mantra from Mama Hunderkamp that self-praise is no praise.
Yeah. Well, don't worry, because Alison Collum has written in, I don't think I can stomach Trey. I think I'll put a film on. So we've really ruined Alison's night tonight.
God, Alison, trust me, you're going to have a really good show today.
Well, don't put a picture of me up at Ascot. That will my turn.
Lizzie, I can almost certainly guarantee that we will. Anyway. But Summer Darcy does say Based and Bougie, nice, with some nice emojis, so very excited.
So much, I appreciate
She's got a great following on social media, unlike me, and maybe the rest of us. I don't know.
Because obviously I read more comments than anyone else on the show, I'd just like to read one from Happy Hippie, who says, Kai, you are glowing again. Is it meditation, love, or a lottery win? I'm going with love.
Love?
Ooh, something you haven't told us?
Come on.
No.
Tell us why. It's because we are on the show. It's very exciting.
It's because the women are taking over.
It's
Girl
women.
power.
It is women. I'm woke like that, you know. Anyway, let's crack on. This show would, as you know, be nothing without you, the very loyal viewers at home. So please let us know what we've got wrong. Let us know what you think of Lizzie Cundy's outfit by visiting gbnews.com/your say. And finally, some of you have already been voting what you want us to debate in the Saturday Scrap. I actually predicted the result of this already, so I reckon you're gonna do us right. But I'll remind you of the three options anyway. Number one, should the government ban social media for kids? Yes. Number two, after the tragic incident at a Cambridgeshire zoo has Keir and the community failed?
Yes.
It was a very odd story, wasn't it, that one? But we'll get into that if it's chosen, which it almost certainly won't, because the third option is, should Sadiq Khan ditch the pride flag and back England? Ooh. Go to gbnews.com/poll to vote in that poll. Now, we're going to crack on with tonight's first debate shortly, because there's no news, I'm told.
There's
no
news?
No news. No, there's no news. There's no news.
Okay.
No. And under Andy Burnham, there will be no news.
Big Brother styling, no news.
Oliver Cromwell.
We're going to crack on with my first debate. I'm going to kick us off. Yes, the King of the North, who can forget, he's back, and he's here to save the Labour Party and the country. Now, first of all, Andy Burnham is a winner, and politics likes winners. We all like winners. He won the Makerfield by-election with a stonking victory, beating all expectations in every single poll to win 55% of the vote, with all but two other parties losing their deposit. This, of course, is in a constituency where 62% of constituents put immigration as their #1 concern, 7th highest in the country. But he's not just showed Labour how to unite the left and beat reform. He shows signs, too, of being ready to grapple this country's problems with a renewed sense of seriousness and urgency. On immigration, he is rumoured to plan on keeping Shabana Mahmood in post to see out her sweeping reforms to immigration. And on Friday, as you may have seen, decried HMO Britain and the unfairness of the immigration system in this country. He announced a laser focus on bringing down water bills, energy bills and rail fares, mirroring his work to bring down bus fares in Greater Manchester and ending trickle-down economics, a hallmark of a failed neoliberal agenda which has seen gangster capitalism run roughshod over businesses and communities in this country. He promised in his speech to reindustrialise the nation and ensure that under his watch, policies that don't lift up constituencies like Makerfield, like countless other left-behind areas in this great country, that those policies will be dead in the water. Now, he says the Labour Party has one last chance to change, but what's more important now is that he changes the country. Lizzie Cundy, can Andy Burnham change this great country?
Oh, yes.
No, he cannot. I mean, look, he may have, the look of Buddy Holly and have a black T-shirt and baby blue eyes, but he's actually still Keir Starmer, and it's going to be no different. In fact, I think it's going to be actually worse. We've got to look at this man, right? So he was Mayor of Manchester with limited power, had a budget of £3 billion. Now he's going to have, if he is Prime Minister, huge amounts of power, with a budget of 1.4 trillion. The man in his previous post hardly touched the sides, and I think we are, going to be all excited there's someone new at number 10, but, very, very soon we're going to realise it's nothing more than another Keir Starmer. In fact, it will be worse. He's got no manifesto. I mean, who's his team going to be? He doesn't even know if we had him on here today. It is a joke.
Can I come back on you very quickly, then, before we go to Renee? Do you not think that in politics these days, that a lot can be achieved if you have a strong message, have an agenda that you pursue regardless of the constraints put on you? And Keir Starmer's flip-flopped so much that nobody actually knows what he believes. That has impacts on how the civil service deliver your plan. Do you not think that simply by being somebody who knows what he wants and bringing in the team that he wants, he can actually get things done more than Keir Starmer?
Well, you might think, he's King of the North, and he's just got rid of King of the flip-flops and the U-turns. That's basically it. The only reason this man has got and won at Makerfield is because no one wanted Starmer. It was everyone voting to get him out, and that is the truth of it, and you know it.
And also, I mean, you're talking about flip-flops. He is the king of the flip-flops. We've actually seen it in the last 5 weeks. We've seen him make announcements like he's going to pay the Waspy Wynnum, and then someone whispering in his ear, oh, you won't be able to afford to do that, so changing his mind and saying he'll give them some free bus passes or something, which I'm sure thrilled them to death. He's used to believe that women can become men and men can become women. Now, apparently, he doesn't. So we'll see what he does when he gets in about this new disgusting puberty blocker trial. He has changed his mind on the fiscal rules, but he didn't actually know what they were. But he's going to stick to them. But at the same time, he's going to reindustrialise the country, which he cannot afford to do anyway, even if that was something I think we should do, that we could actually physically do, because we've offshored ourselves so much out of China that that's almost insurmountable. So this man is king of the flip-flops. The only thing he's good at is been determined to be Prime Minister. He's tried twice before and failed, so third time lucky. And as Lizzie said, he had a budget in Manchester that he could spend. Now he's going to have a budget where everybody wants to spend it, and he's going to have the markets and the fiscal rules and the debt.
He's out of his depth. He's the chameleon of politics, I'm afraid to say. And he's also got some issues he's left in Manchester. Don't forget, he gave all of those loans to the property owners to make luxury apartments and flats. That's still ongoing. And we've got the grooming gang situation, which he really let down the victims. So, sorry, you might think he's the great messiah, but I believe he's going to be worse than Keir Starmer.
Well, just very briefly, on the grooming gangs, Burnham, there were videos that came out in the campaign trail of him robustly defending his action on grooming gangs
wouldn't he?
In Manchester. But what do you make of all this?
My number one rule in politics has always been that if you can't defend children, then you have absolutely no place in politics. This is the same guy that said that the grooming gangs was propaganda. This is the attitude that actually allowed hundreds of thousands of young girls to be tortured and trafficked across the country. Is this attitude that's saying that people or stating facts is propaganda?
Did he? No, because, sorry, he's commissioned a series of independent reviews to look at both historic cases of child sexual exploitation, but also grooming gangs in Rochdale, in Oldham, in some of those key areas where those took place in Greater Manchester. I don't know that we can say. I don't know that we can say that.
Yeah, probably not.
I have to say, I'm a good friend of.
Yeah, no, probably not. I think people on the right, what they're afraid of is finally the centre-left has someone with actual charisma that can actually take on Nigel Farage's of this world, and I think it's actually a good thing for democracy. You know, I'm not someone that's anti-reform in any way, shape, form, but I think reform has a lot of charisma with Nigel Farage, and now finally Labour has that.
Do you remember the last mayor, though,
really
with lots of charisma, who we thought was going to actually solve the world, but he too was a Mr. Flip-Flop. His name was Boris.
And exactly. And can I say that that's a really good point, Renee, because we've had mediocre Prime Ministers. We've had, 6 in the last 10 years, and we could have 7 if Burnham's in. And that's not fair in this country. We have Theresa May, Boris Johnson, Rishi, Liz Truss, Keir Starmer, which is the most unpopular Prime Minister, even in his own party. We deserve better. I'm sorry. And can I also... he might be able to talk better than Keir Starmer, but I'm afraid he's mediocre, and this country deserves the best.
And can I also say, what is this obsession with charisma? Everybody's always looking for a Prime Minister with charisma. I just want a Prime Minister who's competent.
No, but that's
someone who knows how to...
I think the thing you're missing, though, charisma is actually very important. It's the ability to get as many people on side as possible. Look, listen, this country has real big issues. It's very divided. Charisma is actually a very important thing. You saw it in places like South Africa. You had one of the most charismatic leaders probably ever in Nelson Mandela. It took a country that probably should have descended into civil war and actually made something of it. South Africa is not perfect by any shape or form, but someone who is No. South Africa is still, what, the first or second most powerful economy in Africa. You need someone that's going to be able to bring people together and therefore initiate changes. The reason why we keep having these sort of fractious type Prime Ministers is because nobody supports people for long enough to actually do anything. Someone who most of the people go with, and I think Andy Burnham has a chance to do that.
Is there not something in that the one thing that we've learned from Keir Starmer from recent reports is that he's fairly apolitical, that he doesn't want to decide between his cabinet ministers on things because he doesn't have a strong sense of what he wants to achieve, and he can't storytell when he makes difficult decisions that people don't like. Instead of trying to explain the trade-offs and make a debate or have an argument, he just capitulates. Do you not agree that maybe, having somebody, whether you like his policies or not, who can actually make a case to the country, isn't that what we deserve?
Well, it depends on the case. And in terms of Andy Burnham and his policies, I don't believe in the cases that he had. Who I believe in personally, who's most fit for Prime Minister at the moment, is Nigel Farage. And just to bounce back on the topic of charisma, don't get me wrong, charisma is a nice thing to see on TV and in press conferences, but I think more than that, we deserve somebody who's actually competent. And I saw the interview of Andy Burnham saying that the grooming gangs, where almost 250,000 girls were assaulted, he said it was propaganda. For me personally, I can never trust someone like that.
Yeah, but if you're going to talk about something that a leader said, I mean, Nigel Farage has also said stuff that's quite divisive. Depends on how you look at it. It's no point splitting hairs. I think he had said stuff that is as divisive.
The most consequential thing that we've had going in this country for the last 30 decades, and only in the last 3 decades, in the last 2 years, have we been able to actually bring it out there, shine some light on it and try and disinfect it. It's still not easy because of this constant pushback from the left. You don't want to talk about people that are doing things if they fit into a specific characteristic. And Burnham has not played his role in grooming gangs. I agree.
And I'm a good friend with Maggie Oliver. It is, because I just spoke with Maggie Oliver before I came on the show. Andy Burnham let those girls down at the end. And he didn't do enough. And I'm afraid he shouldn't be our Prime Minister. I'm afraid he shouldn't be, and he's not up for the job.
This claim that the left don't want to have any action on grooming gangs is ahistorical. We are advancing a national grooming gang inquiry that does look into exactly the things, not under duress, after an audit that looked at the gaps and what needed to be done. Because we can't be spending ridiculous amounts of money that we don't have if it's not the right parameters, not done in the right way. Because you're throwing bad money after bad. The Tories let this sit on their desks for years, decades maybe, and we did nothing. The Labour Party has put that right, and this idea that the left hasn't done anything on grooming gangs
is the mayor of Manchester.
The last thing that we need right now, and I'll be so honest with you, is another inquiry. We know what happened. We know how disastrous and how demonic the whole grooming gang scandal was. What we need is a national investigation, and what we need is for people to be persecuted.
We need people to go to prison.
Exactly. And right now, Labour is in power, and nobody's been arrested about this, from my understanding.
And I'm going to say, I think we should go to a general election. I really don't think it's fair. We've got Andy Burnham. You know, we didn't vote for him. We don't know his manifesto. We don't know his plan. We didn't want him.
Which one is it,
previously.
Which one is it? Is he going to be the same as Starmer? Or is he going to be so different that we need a general election? You can't decide.
No, I can't. Starmer got in because it was on a wave of hate, because people were so disillusioned by the Tory party.
Which is true.
And now Andy Burnham has got in because everyone is disillusioned with Starmer. We deserve better.
You know the Labour Party very, very well. Do you really think that Burnham, even with his good ideas, and I think he can sell ideas better to the country than Starmer can, for sure, but is he going to get those backbenchers on side when he wants to make welfare cuts or spend more on defence or defend young girls from being raped because of the colour of their skin?
You know what? On this, yes. And what I think you have to remember, I'll give you my pitch. In 2025, the context of the welfare debacle was in a world where Keir Starmer and his number 10 was a command and control fear operation to its backbenchers. The backbench relations had completely broken down, right? And then to add to that, in May and in June, he committed huge U-turns, right? And then in July, what happened? The welfare rebellion. Now, also, out on top of that, as we've discussed, he fails to build a story, build a narrative. Now, Andy Burnham, I think, number one, has the confidence of his backbenchers. I think number two, understands that you need to work with them, and I think he will. And number three, has that storytelling ability to say, look, there are tough choices, these are the trade-offs, and here's why we need to do these cuts. And I think he'll get that through. I really do, on a few things. I think Andy Burnham, because of his reputation, because of his style, can get things done that Keir Starmer didn't. So it's not like the backbenchers are like sitting out there.
He hasn't got
in cuckoo land.
Experience of that top level I've just listed. You know, he had a $3 billion budget. Now he's going to have a $1.4 trillion. He's not up to the job, Kai. I'm sorry. And everyone voted for him in Makerfield because they wanted Starmer out.
Well, I think we need to move on,
Can I read one comment?
One comment from Renee.
One comment from Tina. 3 brilliant, clever women on the show tonight. So Kai and Trey, stop talking over them. Kai, get your facts straight. Burnham let the police mark their own homework when it came to rape gangs.
Well, thank you very much. Well, on that, I have a reply on accusations of a grooming gang cover-up. Andy Burnham has previously said the Greater Manchester did not look the other direction. We looked directly at this issue. We had a complete mirror up to ourselves. 100%. I see the stuff online, and it's actually designed to create hate, and they're trying to pull everyone apart. Nothing is more important than the safety of kids to me living in Greater Manchester, and any allegation that I don't take that totally seriously as my top priority is a complete affront. And a Home Office spokesperson has previously said the abuse of children by grooming gangs is one of the most horrific crimes imaginable. We will do everything in our power to ensure these crimes never happen again. Yes, you're with the Saturday 5 live on GB News, as you know, hopefully. Don't go anywhere. Renee Hunderkamp is going next. Renee, what do you have for us after the break?
I'm going to be asking if all of the people that should have saved baby Preston's life and the horror that he endured looked the other way because it was another protected characteristic in the parents persecuting him.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter? So that's a very live question. Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Welcome back to the Saturday 5. Keep getting in contact at gbnews.com/yoursay. Geraint says, no more prime ministerial swapsies. If you want to be PM, then you need to be elected by the people. And Alan Johnson says, Starmer will cling on as his ego will not allow him to resign. He will call an election and bring the House down with him. After all, the people voted for him, in his opinion. Well, it's an interesting one. I hope that Keir Starmer does the right thing by the country and leaves. What do you think?
I think he probably will.
He missed his dignified exit.
Yeah, I think the sooner the better.
It's the sad thing.
The most unpopular Prime Minister.
Although it's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because the Labour members want Burnham, but they don't want a messy fight. So Starmer could decide to call their bluff and go for it.
There's a lot of things that Starmer could do if he really wanted to mess things up. he could, for instance, this is a funny one, resign with immediate effect.
Well,
and that requires the cabinet to choose one of their own, by the rules, to replace him. They're also Starmer loyalists, and yes, they do still exist. Amazing. They're bad. What are they thinking? Starmer loyalists are apparently thinking of putting forward Darren Jones as their candidate to go up against Wes Streeting and Andy Burnham. I think Darren Jones is quite beautiful. Anyway.
Oh, do you now?
Yeah.
I really
Politics,
think, though, Keir Starmer should go now. Look, he's got this huge book deal. I don't know if you know, How to Win Friends and Influence No One. On that note...
Well, who have we got coming up? Is Dr. Renee.
It is going to be me, so I'm going to take it over now. This isn't a laughing matter, unfortunately. This is disgusting. 13-month-old, beautiful baby Preston was sexually assaulted, tortured and then murdered eventually by the 2 gay men who adopted him. They beat him, they abused him and they killed that tiny baby. They took sexually explicit photos of him. There were multiple chances, however, to save him. Hospital visits, bruises, broken bones... that only started happening the moment he moved into this house with these 2 men. Social workers, doctors, nurses, police, even a home check that was done just a couple of days before he died. They all saw the red flags, they all wrote it down, and then they all looked away. Why? Because despite being paedophile killers, they were a gay couple, a white, middle-class gay couple, a protected class. Terrified of homophobia smears, the system gave them kid gloves instead of protecting little Preston. Preston's life was blighted from the moment he was born to a mother who was in prison. He was handed into fantastic foster care for 9 months, who loved him dearly, and then into the care of monsters, because liberal ideology trumped child safety. It wasn't a failure, it was cowardice that got Preston killed. So rip up the system, I say. Let's just have one rule for everything. Judge a human by their character. No protected classes, no more looking away. Scrap the Equality Act, which does this. Baby Preston deserved justice. Every child deserves justice.
Gosh.
I just want to push back a little bit on that because
it's a shock.
When I look at this case, you know, that kid was the same age as my son, and you're right, I think it's absolutely abhorrent, disgusting. But I've seen people talking about the fact that they're gay as some sort indicator of them. I think these were just bad.
Sorry, did I do that?
That's what.
No, did
this
I
is what
do that?
Okay, let me say the whole DEI. You know, the people have looked at it. I've seen case after case after case.
She didn't say that, though.
I didn't say it. I'm not going to let you say it.
No, but this is what I'm saying. But this is the inference a little bit, like the whole protected characteristic side of stuff. I just think what you've got is a care system that is failing everybody.
Do you know what?
That's how I see it.
You make me feel sick nearly every week when you do this. I did not say that because they were gay, they murdered a baby. I did not say that.
You talked about them being middle class or the rest of it.
Finish, Trey.
Okay, go on.
Again.
Go on.
I said that because they were gay, the people that should have protected Preston looked away.
Where's the evidence for that?
Let me speak. The evidence is coming. They've already said it in lots of it. They were scared of being smeared, of being homophobic. I have seen child protection cases. I have been a paediatrician in a hospital. And let me tell you, if they were a brown or even a working class or a traveller family, they would not have sent that baby home. I've seen it at work. But this was a middle-class white gay couple. They didn't kill Preston because they were gay. They killed Preston because they were evil, human beings who were paedophiles. So don't put words in my mouth and try and turn a story every single week to push back a little bit.
I agree. At the end of the day, look, listen, these were bad people, but I said it again, it's not necessarily you. Wait, let me just say it, because you've spoken. There are lots of people, maybe not you, who have been looking at the fact that these are two gay men as somehow that gay... Not you. Let me just say it again one more time. Not necessarily you. And I think what we're missing is this. This was a poor, defenceless child that couldn't even speak.
Oh, I missed that, yeah,
I think that's the bit that I felt outraged. I'm not saying you, but I think a lot of people have actually made this about the fact that perhaps they're gay men and maybe gay men should be adopted separately from you.
Yeah. We're talking about my monologue
Can you
and the
answer...
point I'm making. We're not talking about a lot of people out there that you've been...
Well, until we...
We're talking about my monologue.
But listen, until we get the evidence that these failings happen because they were middle-class gay, then fine.
So why do you think they did ignore bruises and broken bones then?
Because a lot of kids get ignored in the system. It's a system that a lot of kids get ignored. I think it should be absolutely overhauled. Yeah, we've seen case after case of a lot of kids getting ignored in the system, in the care system. It happens a lot of the time.
If somebody in a hospital writes down, as they did in this case, the injuries are not consistent with the story the parents are telling, that baby doesn't go home. But this one did.
Let's bring Base in.
I just think what you're doing right there is the exact same thing that they done with the grooming gang. Saying that it had nothing to do with Islam, it had nothing to do with cultures, it had nothing to do with ideologies. What is your proof? And it had to do with the fact that these are just bad people. I'm so sick and tired of this. We need to get back to the nitty-gritty of why people are doing this. There is no denying, and I can't pull up the evidence now, but people can easily research this, that gay men and gay couples are more prone to not only just domestic abuse amongst each other, but child sexual assault with their adopted children. So we have to get to a point...
Where's the evidence for this?
I said I don't have the evidence with me
now.
So it's just... Okay. Now, I've seen it, and hopefully when I go online after this, I will post it. But the statistics are out there. They've been proven time and time again that gay men are more prone to more sexual deviancy. Now, I'm not saying this is the case for all men, but the statistics are out there. What we need to do is what she said, is we need to stop having protected class, and instead we need to look at statistics and react to these statistics rather than just reacting to the fact that she said it is a gay man and a gay couple. Because I saw what you did. You tried to put words in her mouth and say they assaulted her because he was gay. No, that wasn't the case.
That's not the case.
Yeah, no.
Sadly,
let's get back to...
I need to come back on this. Let me come back on this. Wait, let me just do two things.
But then let's hear from Lizzie, because we haven't heard from Lizzie.
Look, I just want to say this case made me feel physically sick. I couldn't even read it. It's so terrible.
Disgusting.
And I've got to say, I am sick of hearing this cliched phrase of lessons will be learned. Well, when? This should never have happened. And it makes me so sad that the social services aren't challenged, aren't assertive enough, because they're scared of being homophobic or being called, as we saw in the Henry Novak case, being called a racist. Right. This has to stop. And my heart is broken for that poor little boy. It is absolutely so sad.
We just need to get rid of protected classes. Yes. We're going to sit here and say that we're equal. Let's treat everyone equal.
Everyone the same.
That means we don't give special treatment to black people, we don't give special treatment to gay people, we don't give special treatment to Muslims, and everyone is treated equally. Because the more we allow to give these people protected, just protection, the more this will continue. So why not just stop it now? We already have seen the statistics. I can't bring it up.
Look,
online.
You talk about statistics, but there is no statistical evidence that gay men are inherently more sexually driven for assault than heterosexual men. I would really like to if you can bring your evidence before again, then let's go ahead with that. But I'll come in here on one thing. I take your point, Renee, about this, But to elaborate on one of Trey's points, which is about the system and how it's completely broken, we know already that it's not even cracks, people falling into the cracks of the adoption and foster care system. It's totally broken. A Kids Place for Adoption, even just last year, fell 22%. That's in 1 year. It's a huge bottleneck of adopters. There's 750 families. There's 3 times as many as even just a year earlier. There's 55% rise.
It still doesn't mean you ignore injuries when they arrive.
But I agree. Right. And Base does have a point, actually, in terms of, this is something we saw as well in the grooming gangs case, a multi-agency failure where actually they're not all these different groups within government, in local government especially, don't talk to each other, aren't resourced. They haven't been resourced.
Sarah Sharif.
Exactly.
Nobody tackled that abuse. Why? Because she had a headscarf on and they didn't want to appear Islamophobic.
But can I just come back to one thing that you said? You said that scrap the Equality Act will solve this.
I did.
But this is about culture. If you are making the point, and I take it that people have now got to the point where they're scared of being racist, they're scared of being homophobic, and so maybe don't speak out as they would in other cases. Culture's not set by laws. That's not a new phenomenon. That the Equality Act happened and suddenly everybody was scared.
How did culture do this?
No, culture does do this, because if you actually look at the Pride festivals and you see these grown men twerking in front of children, you can now tell me that some, not all, some gay couples do get turned on when it comes to sex with children.
That is such an absurd reach, babe.
We see
you know that.
We see
that. A celebration.
And pretending to be dogs. We know they have kinks, not all, but some of them do have these very awkward kinks. This Pride Festival. So why don't we act on this?
So would you want gay couples to stop being allowed to adopt kids?
No.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I think that they should be able to go through some kind of... They need to be assessed properly.
What, differently or properly? Because
everyone should be treated the same.
Because you said that gay men, statistically, potentially, are more likely to do that. So I'm thinking whether you think they should be treated different. And again, apologies to you, Dr. Rennie, because I wasn't trying to... I think what Base said...
I don't think they should.
...is what I'm talking... It sometimes goes down this road of gay men are therefore more likely to be dangerous.
We were talking about my monologue, and that's
what I'm talking about.
saying.
No, we're talking about word.
OK, I just think, as I said at the end of that, I'm not calling for anyone not to be able to adopt. I think children need families, and that's it. But I do think we should scrap the Equality Act and judge a person by their character, not the colour of their skin, their sexuality, their sex or any of it. Then we'll get to have good human beings doing good things, and the bad ones we'll put in prison.
Exactly, and stop the two-tier policing. We need to stop it. Everyone should be treated equally. That's it.
But the funny thing is about two-tier that Renee said, you know, this is because they're white. So this is sort of
I said it's because they were
opposite
gay.
of
I said it was because they were gay.
Partly.
White, middle-class gay.
Exactly, yes, I know. Anyway, we are going to have to move on. We're going to have to wrap it up there, I'm afraid. An Oldham Council spokesperson has previously confirmed a safeguarding review will examine how Preston Davies' case was handled. The council has said that its thoughts remain with his family and others affected. Now then, coming up next on the Saturday Five.
If you're an ICE agent, you need to die. If you support ICE agents, you need to die. If you support the president, you need to die.
Isn't that what you need in your life on a Saturday night? It's crazy American people in our triggered tantrums that's coming up next. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Saturday Five on GB News.
You're looking happy.
Well, the forecast looks good.
So you've sorted the travel insurance then?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
A lot of talk at the moment about extremely hot weather across many parts of Europe, especially central and western areas, with more than 40 Celsius expected, especially through parts of central and northern France. I think for Spain, similarly, high 30s, low 40s, but temperatures of 39 Celsius there for Paris, 42, 43 elsewhere for northern and central France. That's highly unusual. Italy also experiencing unusually high temperatures. That could spark a few thunderstorms.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello there, good evening. This is your latest GB News weather update provided by the Met Office. Hope you've enjoyed the first half of the weekend. It is generally a calm end to the day and transition as we head into tomorrow. The cloud that we've had around across England and Wales today is generally going to break up this evening and overnight. A few more clear spells developing, but we'll probably still see some fog lingering around some English Channel coastal regions and a few showers just to watch out for across the far northwest of Scotland. For most in the southeast, it is going to be another muggy night to come. Temperatures not dropping much below 17 or 19 degrees Celsius, but something a touch fresher across parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland. Some places may just dip down into single figures as we do start off Sunday morning. These showers in the far northwest will still be there first thing in the morning, but generally they will become fewer and further between as we head into the afternoon, and generally parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland and northwestern England are likely to see some of the best sunshine throughout tomorrow. Perhaps more showers developing across northeastern England, and it's now here where we could see some low cloud around at times, maybe even some fog along some coastal regions of northeastern England. And again, the sunshine across parts of Wales, central southern England will be hazy tomorrow at times, so not wall-to-wall sunshine, but it will still be fairly bright and dry for the vast majority of us if you are wanting to head outside. Temperatures across Northern Ireland and Scotland generally similar to where we have been today, into the high teens or low 20s in places, quite pleasant. But towards the south, we are starting to build in the heat and humidity, highs of 31 degrees Celsius in London. As we head into the new working week, it's probably a reversal of fortunes now. The cloud heading up towards more northern regions, a few showery outbreaks possible, maybe even some showers and thunderstorms into the afternoon for parts of Wales and central England. But it's here where we have an amber extreme heat warning in place from Monday into Tuesday, with temperatures as we head throughout next week potentially climbing into the mid-30s at times. That is quite exceptional for June, with our highest temperature in June ever recorded of 35.6 degrees Celsius. So it's worth taking care as we head throughout next week.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB Newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
the Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
Because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to the Saturday 5. Now...
I can tell you what I said before.
No talking, Lizzie. No talking. It's because it's the most exciting time of the year. The most exciting. It's time for the Great British Giveaway. And time is ticking on your chance to win our big cash prize of, you guessed it, £76,543 and 21 pence. The magical Hayley Sparks has all of the details.
Hello from the Imperial Island Resort in Paphos, and it's the final week to see how you could win big in time for summer. Someone has to win our stunning cash prize of £76,543 and 21 pence, and that person really could be you. Imagine all of the fun you could have this year with that. You could treat the family, treat your friends, make it a super summer for everyone you know.
Or just enjoy a bit of me time, safe in the knowledge all those day-to-day financial stresses have been taken care of.
£76,543 and 21 pence in totally tax-free cash could be yours in time for summer. Just don't miss out as lines close on the 26th of June. Good luck!
For a chance to win, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
All right, good luck, everybody. All right, let's take a look at some of these trigger tantrums of the week. Based, what do you have for us?
Well, guys, check out this video. Check out this video of Kai's crazy liberal cousin.
If you're an ICE agent, you need to die. If you support ICE agents, you need to die. If you support the president, you need to die. 100%, and I mean this. If you support ICE and you support this president, you're the traitor. You are against American values. You stand for the original America, when we murdered all the natives.
They always have red hair.
And they're always in the country that they hate. That's the thing I cannot fathom, is the fact that they have so much hatred for the country, for the Prime Minister, for the President, but yet they still continue to pay their tax and live there. It's absolutely insane.
It is amazing, isn't it? Trust the Legend wrote in and says, as a regular gamer, on Saturday nights I often have crazy American people telling me that I need to die. This is a nice change, though. She seems to want everyone to die. Yeah, very good. Trey, what do you have coming up for us?
Well, in a week where England had an absolutely emphatic win, and of course you had the Tartan army out in full force, you've got someone who's not very happy about the price of shirts. Let's take a look.
£90 for one piece of football shirt, with one logo, some fabric, stretch fabric. £90, you want us to support our boys, but make it affordable. Can we please make this make sense? Because the math ain't mathing. £90. I looked over there, seen the kids' kits, I looked away, I'm not even looking at them. Because if that one T-shirt's £90, how much is it for a children's short-hand T-shirt? Because that's where they make the money, you know, with the pitney them. No, not me. No, sir.
She's actually quite funny, but you know, I would love her to get on a plane and actually go out to Boston or Atlanta or one of these places where fans are paying thousands and thousands of pounds. My God, I think she would be absolutely horrified.
Well, isn't it do you all remember the cost of a pint of Stella Artois in the stadium in Seattle?
$14?
£14, 25 pence.
That's close.
$15. Isn't it?
What? All right.
No, my pronunciation was $15.
Let's just throw in the $15. Oh, I know, that's what we needed.
It's like the quiz for the kids.
Get it? Well done, Renee.
It's Nana's quiz, or should I say Christo Fufas's quiz? No, I won't say that, of course. Right, what do we have here? We're going to go to the break. But before the break, we're going to hear from Lizzie what she's going to be talking about next. Lizzie.
Well, still no defence spending from Starmer. But, folks, don't worry. I'm here to help.
GB News Breakfast. Every day from 6 a.m.
Veterinary surgeons and such as yourself, I mean, you're very, very highly trained, but it just feels so expensive when there's something wrong with your animal. And it does also seem that insurance doesn't cover the very things you need.
There's been huge advancements in veterinary medicine. 20 to 30 years ago, we had no CT scanners in practice. We had no MRI machines. Our blood tests were very rudimentary. And for that, you could do that very cheaply. Now we can offer you this incredibly high level of care that comes at a high cost. Everybody wants this extremely high level of care for their pet. Of course, you want the best for your pet. But there's nobody else to pay for that. So if you can be honest and say, I can't do that at that amount of money, we'll find you a way. Yeah. We will.
GB News, the People's Channel. GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
Lovely to see them all looking rather laid back and informal, wasn't it?
Yes, you know, we're used to all of these grand royal events, and although this was undoubtedly the society wedding of the year, a very low-key event, they deliberately wanted to keep it as a private affair, as much as one can when one is a member of the royal family, of course. But it was a private ceremony, it was very intimate, and that's really the way that they've lived, that Peter Phillips has lived his life recently, and I think he wants to continue that. Interesting to note also, in this modern age, this is a blended family at this marriage, because they're both entering this as their second marriage. Of course, Peter Phillips previously married to Autumn Kelly, with whom he has two daughters, Savannah and Isla, who are 15 and 14. They were bridesmaids.
GB News, the People's Channel. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Dorothea, how does it feel being here today, joining other veterans?
It's marvellous, because for years after the war ended, nobody knew that women had even done anything during the war. And also, they suddenly discovered that, good heavens, women have got brains. They can think for themselves and for the country. And it was naturally assumed that everybody would willingly do their bit for England. And they would have. We had one purpose in life, which was to free the world from Nazism.
The People's Channel.
Welcome back to the Saturday Five. We would like to apologise if anyone saw an offensive word appear on screen before the break. Now, we're going to move on. And it's time for our next debate. You won't find this one offensive. Maybe I will, being the lefty on the panel. But it's Lizzie Cundy with some key advice for, for Keir Starmer in theory, but maybe not for long. Go on, Lizzie, take it away.
Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Actually, can we scrap that track? Because under Keir Starmer, we couldn't defend a village duck pond. Well, with ever dangerous times, with increasing threats from Russia than ever we've had before, we have an undernourished army, we have a non-existent navy, and we have, Wembley Stadium couldn't even fill our troops with. That's how pathetic it is. Yet Keir Starmer, he walks around like a big peacock with Zelensky, thinking he is the bee's knees. Well, let me tell you, please, don't worry. I've got all the solutions here for you, Keir Starmer, really have. So, first of all, we've really got to sort this defence spending out, Keir Starmer. You've done absolutely nothing. First, we've got to scrap this net zero dream. I will get you $9 billion just from forgetting the carbon capture madness plan. Let's cut your spending. $5 billion a year on asylum, $3 billion dedicated to free housing. In the last 30 days alone, 1,566 illegals. That alone is going to be costing us $62 billion. We are spending 5 times more on welfare. I am sorry, Keir Starmer. I know you are hanging on the thread from your freebie trousers, but your time is up. But before you go as Prime Minister, you really should have protected our country. The first order of any country and government is to protect its people, and you have not done that. So please, before you go, do something, and do it now, before we're all speaking Russian.
Very good.
Thank you.
Now,
Do you like my singing, just quickly? Do you like my singing?
I loved your singing. I wish you could have done it at the Royal Enclosure at Ascot, but more on that later. Just a quick one. How much of our welfare spending goes on pensioners?
Yeah, there is quite a big percentage.
55%.
Yeah.
55%. So of the real terms increase in social security since 2021, half of it is being spent on pensioners in the triple lock.
What?
So what? It's because it undermines the argument that we hear all the time from the right, which is that welfare spending is out of control and we need to cut it. And they use the gross figure without putting into context that they want to cut pensioner spending.
Can we just say that those pensioners, today's pensioners, if you look at the stats, 95% of them would have worked their entire life and paid in for their pension. And we do not have that scenario now, Kai. It has always been that the young people pay for their older people's pensions. That's how it's worked.
But it's a broken system.
But the second half of it is rising.
I'm so sorry, but if there's anyone who deserves welfare, it's definitely our pensioners, just because they're the ones that actually invested into the economy, who invested also into the country. So if there's anyone who deserves the welfare, it's them, not migrants who just arrived on the dinghy claiming that they came from a war-torn country when really they're just using the money to go back on holiday to the country they escaped from.
And can I just over 1 million of our under-24s that are just not working, that could work. It's a disgrace. Come on. And I'm sorry, Russia is more of a threat than net zero, let's be honest.
Go on, Trey.
Do you know, sometimes I wondered about this whole Russia as a threat because you've got a small country next door seems to be doing a good job at keeping them at bay. Perhaps they're not the big threat that we think they are. And I think the other issue I think that we've got is when you look now really at Ukraine, or even if you look at Iran, to be honest, it seems like the nature of war has changed. Perhaps we need a complete fundamental look at what we're actually paying paying for? Do we need more?
Yes.
Fair enough, we need nuclear submarines, but it seems like we need more drone capability. We need counter-drone capability. It needs to completely be reformed.
Can I just say a point? The NATO ranking in their committee progress, that shows how we're modernising and how we're going to face what we'll do with war. Guess where we are with 32 nations, where we are with our modernisation in military weapons and what we've got. We are 31st out of 32.
But again, let me say...
Just above Iceland, who have no standing military army.
But this is interesting, right?
Right.
Well, where is Ukraine? Yet look at them, they're actually knocking out Russian ships out of the Black Sea. So things seem to have changed so much.
With lots of help. Right, we are going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid. There's loads more to come on the show tonight, including Based and Bougie and Trey's Monos.
And you upset the pensioners.
No, I've not upset the pensioners, not on purpose. We'll speak to plenty of people about Brexit. We'll be speaking to Anne Widdecombe as well. So do not go anywhere. This is your weather.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good evening. This is your latest GB News weather update provided by the Met Office. Hope you've enjoyed the first half of the weekend. It is generally a calm end to the day and transition as we head into tomorrow. The cloud that we've had around across England and Wales today is generally going to break up this evening and overnight. A few more clear spells developing, but we'll probably still see some fog lingering around some English Channel coastal regions and a few showers just to watch out for across the far northwest of Scotland. For most in the southeast, it is going to be another muggy night to come. Temperatures not dropping much below 17 or 19 degrees Celsius, but something a touch fresher across parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland. Some places may just dip down into single figures as we do start off Sunday morning. These showers in the far northwest will still be there first thing in the morning, but generally they will become fewer and further between as we head into the afternoon, and generally parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland and northwestern England are likely to see some of the best sunshine throughout tomorrow. Perhaps more showers developing across northeastern England, and it's now here where we could see some low cloud around at times, maybe even some fog along some coastal regions of northeastern England. And again, the sunshine across parts of Wales, central southern England will be hazy tomorrow at times, so not wall-to-wall sunshine, but it will still be fairly bright and dry for the vast majority of us if you are wanting to head outside. Temperatures across Northern Ireland and Scotland generally similar to where we have been today, into the high teens or low 20s in places, quite pleasant. But towards the south we are starting to build in the heat and humidity, highs of 31 degrees Celsius in London. As we head into the new working week, it's probably a reversal of fortunes now, the cloud heading up towards more northern regions, a few showery outbreaks possible, and maybe even some showers and thunderstorms into the afternoon for parts of Wales and central England. But it's here where we have an amber extreme heat warning in place from Monday into Tuesday, with temperatures as we head throughout next week potentially climbing into the mid-30s at times. That is quite exceptional for June, with our highest temperature in June ever recorded of 35.6 degrees Celsius, so it's worth taking care as we head throughout next week.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello from the Imperial Island Resort in Paphos, and it's the final week to see how you could win big in time for summer. Someone has to win our stunning cash prize of £76,543.21. Just don't miss out as lines close on the 26th of June.
For a chance to win, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter? So that's a very live question. Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Oh, Saturday night, and this is still the Saturday 5, the UK's biggest, bestest, newsiest Saturday night TV show. I'm Kai Wilshaw, along with Based and Bougie, Renee Hunderkamp, Lizzie Cundy and Trey Lowe. Tonight on the show.
Is this the beginning of the end for the right?
Should Sadiq Khan ditch the pride flag? Keep on voting in our poll.
And should the UK ban social media for our kids?
And has Brexit worked?
And finally, Kent Binface won a landslide victory of 95 votes in Bakerfield. Better luck next time, chap. Anyway, it's 7 p.m, and this is the Saturday 5. Welcome back to the Saturday 5. Thanks for being with us. You have been writing in. I have, as usual, put a step wrong and insulted pensioners.
Yes.
Just quite. Just giving some context about the welfare debate. You know, I didn't say that.
Can I put some context in it? Like,
Go on.
if you think about it, if you think what people get on universal credit, PIP and all of that, you know, they earn more, actually, than somebody on the minimum wage.
Yeah.
Any country... Linda France, that can't look after its old people, isn't a country who can live on 12 grand a year, because that's the basic pension. It's not exactly a fortune. And the rest of that welfare bill, people live on a lot more.
And my mother, who's 91, hi, Mum.
Wow.
Very disappointed in you, Kai, got to say.
she?
Yeah,
But
Gloria.
she is not disappointed in me. Hello, Gloria.
There you go.
So now we have Mama, what's she called?
Gloria.
Mama
Gloria.
Gloria and Mama Hunderkamp are both usually texting in, criticising how I'm doing. Luckily, my parents are watching, and they say I'm doing great. It's amazing, the best you've ever seen.
We are trying, to Kai's parents, we are trying to bend him a bit to the right.
They would be horrified. Absolutely
And rightly
horrified. Karen Johnston says, oh, come on, Kai. Andy Burnham won by a I think she meant stonking, not stinking, percentage, because the country wants rid of Starmer, not because they wanted Labour.
Exactly.
That's the point. No, the point there is, if he ends up leading Labour, then that still stands. The fact that he won that was by such a vote shows that he can win people over. And Poppy Field said earlier, the boys are combative tonight, obviously unhappy at being outnumbered by the girls.
God,
Yes,
never.
Girl power
Charlie's
tonight.
Angels. See?
Yeah, I love girl power. It's brilliant.
The female panel 1, the male panel 0.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how we get on in the next 2 hours.
Let's put it back for the boys.
I'm not convinced. Of course, we want to hear what you have to say. Keep please sending your views. Post your comments. You know where to do it. gbnews.com/ your say. But now you'll be very disappointed. Get your mute button ready. Who's next? Trey?
Oh, get your mute button ready indeed. Because I'm going to actually be looking at something, right? Could Makerfield be the death of reform? And I think it might be. Because, see, we're totally always told that reform is unstoppable and that Nigel Farage is heading to Downing Street. And then comes Makerfield, a constituency that is 94% white British, around 65% Leave, older than average, and exactly the sort of seat that reform should be winning comfortably. And what happened? Andy Burnham got more votes than Reform and Restore combined. Now, I know some people say that Reform voters voted tactically or whatever, and they voted for Burnham to get rid of Starmer, but I think that's nonsense. I think there's something else going on. I think the real issue for ordinary voters, for ordinary decent British people is, yes, they want secure borders, but they also want legal immigration tackled, but they don't want this blame culture of always blaming migrants for absolutely everything. And I think Burnham did something very interesting. He just simply listened. And now Reform has a problem because they're being squeezed from both sides. They've got Restore on one side that is taking votes from them piece by piece by piece. You've got a popular Burnham, and you've got a Shabana Mahmood who's actually being quite tough on that issue that Reform cares most about, which is migration. And I think what we're going to see as time goes forward is that Reform is going to get squeezed by both sides and they're going to have nowhere to go. So I think what we saw wasn't just a by-election. I think what we might have witnessed is the beginning of the end of Reform as an absolute political force.
Lizzie?
I love the pushback that's going to happen.
One at a time. Can we go in order?
In order? Since when have we gone in order?
Because you all want to speak.
I'm desperate to speak.
I think it's a lovely sentiment, and I think it's a really wishful thinking, and I think you should definitely write it on your list to Santa and hope that you get it. I think this wasn't actually a verdict on Reform or Restore or the Labour Party. I think it was a verdict on Keir Starmer. I think just as all of those Tory voters got rid of Keir Starmer and we ended up with Labour on a very, very shallow 34% of the electorate, the same has happened here. And it will be a very different story if Andy Burnham becomes the Prime Minister and the boats don't stop and the HMOs don't stop crime around people where they live, if people still can't jobs, if it doesn't get industrialised, and none of those things are going to happen in 2 years with the best will in the world. He will be out at the end of this, and all of those voters in Makerfield will go back to Reform. Because don't forget, Makerfield has always been a Labour stronghold.
Yep.
So they will all go back. This wasn't a vote on Reform, it was a vote on Andy Burnham and Keir Starmer.
But this is the thing, just before you come in, I'm just interested. I think in some ways you might have an actual electorate there that feel for the first time they've been listened, because Burnham looks like someone that's one of them, that actually cares, not one of these sort of London-centric politicians. I think they might have looked at him and thought, you know what, we just want to be heard.
And then
I think with Burnham is what they might actually see, someone's actually listening to them.
Look, he's just Keir Starmer with a black T-shirt on. That's what he is, and a pair of, you know, Buddy Holly glasses.
You say that.
I do say that, and I will continue. Excuse me, I'm talking. I just want to say, because he's what's his plan? There is no plan.
We don't know.
What's his team going to be? Oh yeah, let's have a think. Angela Rayner, is it? Is it going to be? Who's it going to be? Wes Streeting, what's going to happen with him? I mean, there is no plan, and that's the point. Nigel Farage does have a plan, and just because you don't like it, you know, it being smashed, the Labour and the Tories.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Well, they're going to be smashed because we are disillusioned with the Tories, and we are so disappointed with Labour. They have been. This Prime Minister of ours has been the worst ever. And the only reason, as I said, Andy Burnham got in was everyone is fed up with Keir Starmer and wanted him out.
I want to hear what Base has to
I
say.
don't think this is the end for Reform, because we saw how well they did and how well they performed in the local elections. But however, I do think that Reform need to be a little bit worried, because this is the second by-election that they lost. They lost one in Gorton and Denton, and they also lost one now. And that was 9,000 votes that they could have won to keep up with Labour. And I also want to point out that I think the reason why Reform are not performing as well in the 2 by-elections is because you still have this hardcore left-wing organisations like Stand Up to Racism who keep pinning Reform as this racist far-right event. And actually, Reform are actually a centrist party at this point. But because we have a 94% white population, that doesn't mean every single white person is going to be this hard-right conservative. I don't think you should say that. But I think what people need to understand is that just because someone is white, it doesn't mean they're going to be this hard-right conservative.
Yeah.
Most white people, they're more on the socialist side, they're more on the liberal side of things. And I think Reform needs to just do a better job at just shaking off this far-right image that's constantly...
Can I come back on that, actually?
Sure.
Because, I mean, you say they're a centrist party. They're not.
They're not.
However, what I'm interested in is... Do you think
not
now...
far-right enough for me.
Not for you. But do you think now that Reform have this odd challenge? Because so far they have been moving a bit to the centre to try and to get over 30% of what they might need in a general election to win enough seats to form a government. Yeah. But now they're losing people from, 7% is not to be sniffed at, that Restore won in this by-election. What are they going to change in their approach now?
I think it's a difficult one for Reform because I'm no political expert, because on the one hand, if they continue to move to the centre, what happens is they end up losing their original base, their patriotic base, and we saw that with Restore. Even though Restore didn't score too much, it was only 3,000 votes, that still could have been Reform voters. But at the same time, if they continue to move more to the right, it will put off people on the centre. So I think they just need to find a middle ground where they can basically show people listen, these are our policies and this is how it will benefit everyone, regardless of your skin colour, your ideology or your political beliefs.
And don't forget the BNP in this area got an even higher percentage the last time they were standing as a political party. So this is an area where there has always been a far-right vote.
But the BNP had been around for much longer and have fought many more by-elections. Reform in their first by-election were nowhere. And the Restore coming in this by-election, we'll see how they do in the Greater Manchester mayoralty. Come on, Lizzie.
Reform have only been around for about 4 years, OK? And you look how incredibly successful they've been in that time. Unbelievable success. They're still there in the top 20% and they're doing it incredibly well. And I'm sorry, everyone I talk to loves Nigel. I know you don't, Kai, but he's got great leadership qualities. There's no one like him. He doesn't look at the auto cue like Keir Starmer looking down 150 times. He's a natural. And I do believe if Rupert Lowe could just have a word with himself and realise what he's doing is not just harming Reform, but is harming the whole country.
I don't think he sees it that way.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Because my theory right now is that looking at this by-election, the left looks much more united than the right. I don't see the Tories, Reform or Restore being able to form a government together.
And I think this is the problem that the right is having right now, is that we are so divided. I mean, a couple months ago, we had 3 right-wing parties. We had Reform, we had Advance, and then we had Restore. This is absolutely insane. And I think the reason why Labour did so well in this by-election is because, allegedly, the Conservatives and the Greens, they were all encouraged to vote for Labour just to prevent Reform. But yet you have these Restorians outside with these leaflets preventing Reform, saying this is Reform and making up rumours that Nigel Farage has controlled opposition without actually real evidence. And this is what is hindering the right. So I feel like the right can learn from the left in terms of unity and also not voting emotionally, but voting with strategy. Put your emotions to the side and vote in terms of common sense and strategy and how we can stop our opponent.
I think I just want to say this for the record. I do not at any point relate to Reform as being a far-right party. I don't. I think what's to the right of them, Restore, etc., definitely have elements of that. I don't think Reform is. But I think what Reform haven't had is an actual sort of charismatic type leader of the Labour Party that they can genuinely go toe-to-toe. And that's why I actually welcome this. I actually welcome Reform because I think this uni party needed to die. People are fed up of it. But I think Nigel Farage actually needs someone that can go toe-to-toe with them and actually get into the nitty-gritty of what their policies are beyond migrants. And I think that's what most of the country is going to want as we get towards a general election.
Beyond migrants
policies. He's going to be our Prime Minister.
Everything that's wrong with this country is because of our uncontrolled, both legal and illegal migration. Yes, every problem. Neil Atherton says, make a Phil wanted Starmer out. They could have put Mickey Mouse up and he would have won. Yes, they do burn him. But fast forward 2 years, bless you. As with Starmer, when they realise it was all lies, nothing has changed, Reform will have a clear run straight to Downing Street. Keep wishing, Trey, you are wrong.
Exactly. Can I just say
we will see
that Reform have hundreds of policies outside of just migration.
They do.
Hundreds. If you just sit down and watch their press conferences, every week there's a new policy outside of migration. The problem is the mainstream media, which is controlled by the Uni Party, let's be completely honest, are the ones that keep pushing this migration, far-right, fascist image of them, which is absolutely
No, but hang on.
I think Reform do a good job of that themselves.
What did they do?
They're constantly talking. No, not far right. I'm not going to ever use far right.
This show.
Sorry. Over to you, sir. Over to you, sir.
I was just going to say, in the last 3 by-elections, the voters have decided that. You can't put all this on...
Because they're being influenced by the media. They're being influenced by the media.
Voters can make up their own minds, I think.
No.
I think.
They can.
And to claim that this is all to do with Stop Racism or whatever that campaign group is, and to do with the media, is a bit of a nonsense when they've had 3 by-elections in a row. Caerphilly, Gorton-on-Denton, and now Makerfield.
But you
with
must
the left of united against Reform.
Historically, right, I'm just going to answer that question. You must accept historically, elections have been won when the Sun decides to tell people who to vote for.
That was tenuous then.
No.
And it's even more tenuous now. Newspapers, people don't read newspapers. They claimed that to help their own marketing.
May I just say this? On Kai...
They didn't.
They did, yeah. And may I just say, on your beloved Andy Burnham, can the real Andy Burnham stand up? Because what he said about asylum seekers, wants to stop the hotels and all of this, but on arrivals, wants to give them work. So which way is he going? And I'm sorry, most of the people that vote, their biggest thing and worry is illegals coming over on boats.
And just to pick Kai up, 8.7 million people read The Sun every day, 2.6 actually buy a physical printed, and the rest are digital.
I think that's very disingenuous of you to say the media doesn't influence.
Well,
that's so disingenuous.
The media do, and we know that. But look, you're saying, Andy Burnham is this messiah that is going to change everything. He's going to change diddly squat. Nothing is going to change at all.
You watch. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of stuff. Trey, sorry, I cut across you earlier.
No. Sorry for me. No, I don't see Burnham as some sort of messiah. I think potentially these guys are probably right in some ways. It might be business as usual, but what I love from a democratic point of view for democracy, we're actually going to get real rigorous debate, and I think that's a good thing. It's good for democracy. It's as simple as that.
I do have a question for Kai from John Scott.
Oh, John Scott.
Yeah, Kai.
You're really trying to prove that you read more comments than I do.
I love a competition. Kai, do you never get tired of the sound of your own voice?
I'm not going to answer that.
Oh, that's so sad.
Thank you. No,
we love you,
to be fair, sometimes I've come on this show with quite a gravelly voice. I did that again on
gravelly today.
the overnight show, the Makerfield by-election results show. I'm very sorry if any of you were watching that. I'd come from a night out.
I was actually watching it. I could tell in your voice.
No, this is good. So Peter Jeffrey says, Trey, we've only just begun. Reform is just warming up. And then, of course, we have talked a bit about policies here. And what do you... One argument that I do accept is that Reform has spent the last few years, where they've had this poll lead, actually working on a plan, which Labour didn't have when it came into power. Is there a case to say that Reform is actually more ready for government than Andy Burnham?
No, because at least Burnham is going to be, he's going to have people with experience in his cabinet at the end of the day. It's going to be as simple as that. Whether or not you like them, there are still people with experience. Whereas Reform, who are they going to have? And a lot of their fiscal policies haven't been fully costed, from what I can see. But I stand to be corrected if that's the case. They've got this formidable, incredible economic team that's going to fix stuff. Or, like Dr. Rennie says, if they can prove that every ill that this country faces is because of migrants, and if they suddenly get rid of migrants, this country is going to be so much richer. I mean, I stand to be corrected, but I think I'll be waiting for a long time.
To sit here and say Reform is not filled with experienced people is absolutely ridiculous, because first and foremost, we have over 100 Tories who have moved over to Reform. And there's so many parties: Reform, Restore, Revenge.
They all start with R.
And then not only that, you have so many people who used to be in UKIP and the Brexit Party who have also moved over to Reform. So to say that they're not experienced is very disingenuous, considering how successful they've been.
So basically, you're talking about ex-Tories who completely trashed the economy, and then people who voted for Brexit, which had a negative effect on our economy, and that's who we're going to put all of our stock in.
No, we're talking about business people.
Hey.
They are business people at the top of their game, and there is not one business head in the Labour Party There really isn't, who haven't got any business sense.
And the Tories that have defected to reform, we actually need to give them a bit of grace, because people like Robert Jenrick and Suella Braverman, they fought tooth and nail against some of these immigration policies and were either fired or left because they were trying to...
Under their watch, the numbers went through the roof.
I don't see
because they said that they couldn't do anything, so they left.
Okay.
They wanted to leave the
new party.
They wanted to leave the ECHR and they couldn't. And she said about that. She wasn't listened to. Rishi wouldn't let her do it. As I said, we have just had 6 of the most mediocre prime ministers. We don't want another 7th one in the last 10 years.
Well, we are going to leave it there. But you mentioned the ECHR, Basin Bougie. What do you have coming up for us after the break?
Guys, shocking news. So the ECHR has given another paedophile the right to enter the UK.
See you after the break.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From court mornings
to warm family brunches,
from football to tennis, in the car,
in the kitchen.
GB News Breakfast is there with the stories you need and the conversations that matter.
Anyway, let's talk business.
Well, it has been a historic night in British politics.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
We're here again to start your day just right. GB News Breakfast.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain's news channel.
Oh, welcome back to the Saturday 5. My laptop was frozen, so I can't see any messages. There was a really funny one, actually, that said the Sir Andy is going to get us back into the EU. It's very unpopular with lots of down votes from all our wonderful viewers. And then Rick Stewart does say, to keep it simple, we need to tell the EU to go forth and multiply. I don't understand. What does that mean? Sick and tired of lunatics like Ursula controlling our country. No, it's Ursula von der Leyen, and she rejects those allegations. Anyway, please keep getting in contact at gbnews.com/your-say. Usually I can read out more of the messages. But we're going to crack on with our next debate. Who's coming up next? I think it's you, Based. Take it away.
So, Reform UK have been under a lot of backlash since announcing their plans to leave the European Convention of Human Rights. A lot of people cannot fathom the words exiting or withdrawing or leaving being in the same sentence as human rights. But I've actually been a strong supporter of Reform's plans to leave the ECHR simply because I don't believe all human beings deserve human rights. Terrorists don't deserve human rights, rapists don't deserve human rights, paedophiles don't deserve human rights. The perfect example of this will be 43-year-old Jamaican national called Anil Spence. He was actually convicted of paedophilia in the United States in 2008. And he actually won his appeal to enter the UK to join his family, whilst his lawyers argued that under the Article 8 Act under the ECHR, which gives people the right to a private life and his family. His lawyers also argue that he is partially attracted to adults. Can you believe that, guys? He's partially attracted to adults, and they argued that he was not aware that the person that he was in sexual relationships with was younger than him. But the contradiction in this is that during the case, they found out that when he was 23, he started relations with his 15-year-old now wife. So his wife that he's with now was 15-year-old. Now, this is the problem that I have with the ECHR and the Human Rights Act, is that in a normal country, we refuse these type of people coming into the country to protect other people, to protect the masses, to protect children, to protect women. But in Britain, we give these people rights. And this is a serious, serious problem for me. So what do you guys think of this? Do you guys think that paedophiles and terrorists deserve human rights, or can they be redeemed?
Well, I came at this from a different direction in that paedophiles shouldn't have access to children, whether they're their own children or somebody else's. So I really don't think a paedophile arguing, and we've had a few cases of this, it's not just this guy, we've had a few people that can't be deported because they've done sexual offences against children, but they have children and apparently they have to spend time with them as a role model. No. You're a paedophile. You're not a role model. You lost all your rights. That woman should take that child somewhere else anyway.
I would totally agree with you. I don't think anyone would not agree with you there. You don't want a child near a paedophile, whether it's your partner or any family member. But the trouble with this country and what's happened with Labour being in, we don't know who is coming into this country. I just want to give you some statistics here. I mean, since Labour gained power, 75,000 have come in, 87.3 are male, and they are coming in constantly, and we don't know who they are, and it's scary. I'm sorry, as a woman, I am frightened, and I'm afraid Smash the Gangs hasn't worked. He hasn't even smashed the top of his boiled egg, this Prime Minister of ours, and we don't know who's in this country, and it's a very, very scary time for me as a woman. I am scared. I'm scared for my niece, my family members, and nothing. I don't look like that guy because that's fact.
Well, no, it's not.
We don't know who's coming into the country.
But Lizzie, it's not fact, is it, that you talk about the figures since Labour came into power?
75,000.
Right? No,
87.3% are male.
Yeah, OK, but let's look at the recent stats where actually policies they've enacted have come into force, shall we? The year so far, small boats arrivals are down significantly on last year. Asylum applications have fallen in the last year. Deportations are up. Shabana Mahmood came back to the House in March with even tighter asylum system reforms, in addition to the November reforms, which were the biggest reforms in generations. So I can't sit here and allow this sort of misinformation about Labour's migration control when they're trying to get a hold of it. But if Shabana Mahmood stays, you talk about talent in Andy Burnham's team, and if Shabana Mahmood stays, she'll go even further.
30% plus are more on current trips. I'm sorry.
Sorry, you keep saying that the Labour Party is decreasing the amount of migrants coming in, but by how much?
By how much?
Yes. Percentages, numbers, by how much?
Well, asylum claims fell by 12% year on year.
Is that outstanding asylum, or is it new claims?
From memory, small boats crossings are down by double figures, percentage down year on year. That's an improvement. Well, it's not perfect. Okay, net migration, we know, is down a huge deal. Well, you make the point for me, Renee, because what we're talking about is Lizzie Cunliffe sitting here and saying, oh, they've done nothing.
I didn't say the Tories didn't do anything.
No, all of these people have come in since Labour came into office. When you're now saying, you can't take credit for that improvement because that's what the Tories did.
Well, you can't.
Labour is taking even tighter measures, and so you're saying that you can't have it both ways.
Labour haven't actually. So Labour haven't actually.
It's not an improvement.
It's not.
Yes, it is. Absolutely nothing. That should be down by 90%. in my personal.
And you think reform are going to manage that?
In the last 30 days alone, it's costing us 107 million in the last 30 days alone with boats coming over. I'm sorry, Kai, you're wrong.
Can I ask you guys, though, if this was a reform government year one and the stats were the same, would you be OK with it, or would you...
No, I wouldn't. I would absolutely
no. So what would you be wanting, like 90% or 100%?
The boats should stop.
They should
like
stop.
Australia, they should stop.
And
you know what else should stop? We should have a moratorium on all immigration. We should get the people in this country that are here, there are plenty of them, who need work, make them work.
Not only that, I think we should also be getting people who are, well, we should be allowing people into the country that actually align with British cultural values. Because I'm not being funny, this person is from Jamaica, and Jamaica does have a high sexual assault rate. We need to be honest about the fact that a lot of these countries do not share the same values when it comes to women's rights and children's rights the way the UK does. And I'm absolutely shocked that this man was allowed to even use our Human Rights Act. Not everyone deserves human rights. If you've assaulted a child, if you're a terrorist, if you plan to bomb London, your human rights should be completely eradicated if you violated someone else's human rights. But the problem here in the UK is that our laws are way too soft, and that's why men like him are allowed to enter the country.
Well, we've had this conversation about different cultures on this show before. Do you want to come back on that? But also, I'm interested to hear what you have to say on that final point that Based made as well, whether there are some people who shouldn't have human rights.
Well, look, if the people have done anything against children, sure, we should be looking at them slightly different. You know how I feel when it comes to things like paedophilia and anyone that harms kids. I would probably be a little bit harsher about that. But I think I just want to push back about sometimes Based, I think, with your thing, especially when it comes to Muslims and certain groups, there seems to be this sort of blanket sense of who these people are. There's no real sense of the actual good that they do. You know, it's always a focus on the one or two bad eggs that do bad things, but it's never a sense... They say about Jamaican and Jamaican culture, the amount of Jamaicans that came to this country in the Windrush era that made a massive difference.
Agreed.
That actually, let me finish, fought for the right that someone like you can actually sit on a show like this. You have no idea how many Jamaicans were instrumental in fighting for the rights of black people in this country.
You're being very disingenuous in the fact that I've never once pinned all groups to be one thing. I've said cultures, ideologies.
Okay.
That's the problem. Not
was the Windrush generation not a Jamaican and West Indian culture?
Yes, they are.
Did they not do good for this country?
They have done good for this country.
Okay, well, so why are you using this one Jamaican guy as some sort of example?
Have you heard some of their music? All they talk about is sex.
Oh, God.
It's literally in their culture.
Oh, God. So because Jamaican has a subset of music that talks about suggestive lyrics, that somehow you're going to actually use that as an example for how bad they are to culture. I think, you know what I like, though?
I'm not saying this about all people.
I think, you know what I like? I think people listening to you...
I'm just saying culture.
I think a lot of moderate people that actually, let me just say this, a lot of moderate people that probably do want changes in this country around migration, they'll listen to you and they're going to run as far away from a lot of these far right, and I'm not talking reform, I'm talking even further to the right, Restore and ethno-nationalist stuff, they're going to run so far away from it. And be sure about this, right? If the people that you think agree with you were in power, you'd be on that same boat as me.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
No, I actually
yes, you would.
Because I don't go around engaging in
You would be. I don't think they'd make any distinction.
I don't engage in cultures that believe marrying children is fine. I don't believe in cultures that believe that having, kinks with little children is fine. I don't engage with those things. That is not my culture.
A lot of the cultures that you seem to point at seem to be black and brown, though.
Yes, because those are the cultures that I'm so sorry to say that they
will have different values and cultures.
I'm so tired of is people are just so dishonest. Let's be honest about the fact that black culture does have a problem when it comes to promoting degeneracy.
What is black culture?
Let's be honest about the fact that Muslims, I'm so sorry, not Muslims, but ideology.
That's not the top. No, that's not the topic.
My God.
I want to make it clear, I'm not pinning all people.
No, because
you just said black time. But you said black culture. That's like 1 billion people on planet Earth with a myriad of different cultures, and you're talking about black culture like somehow it's just bad.
I said
black culture's done a lot of
not black people. We're not black culture.
What is black culture? What's this monolithic?
We don't have much time left on this. We've strayed away from the whole discussion that we were having, which is about Article 8 of the ECHR.
Leave it.
I would like to hear very quickly. You said quite a big claim about not all people deserve human rights. Not even Reform or even Restore have gone that far. They're simply talking about this narrow Article 8, Article 3 rule that has allowed some judges to rule in favour of some migrants entering the country. Do you think that repealing the ECHR goes far enough? Or is it one of those silver bullets that Reform and Restore like to talk about that actually will have zero impact because lots of these are baked into our laws already?
I definitely think that it will fix things, and I think that it will crack down on crime, because the problem that we're having is every single time somebody wants justice, they're constantly hit by this brick wall called the ECHR that stops them and believes that everybody deserves human rights. Let me make something very clear. Not everyone deserves human rights. If you are a paedophile, if you are a terrorist, if you are a degenerate, if you've assaulted children, your rights should be stripped. If you violated someone's rights, your rights should be stripped. And that's just where I stand.
And can I just say something very quickly? I just want to correct you very quickly, because you were saying that the boats are down. Yes, but the number in them is 100%, 33% up. And that is fact. Just need to get that right, because they're bigger, super boats.
We're not here to talk about boats, we're not here to talk about degeneracy, because a Home Office spokesman said on the topic initially planned we were going to discuss, we will do everything in our power to continue contesting this case. We strongly believe this individual's presence in the UK is not conducive to the public good. We will not allow foreign criminals to exploit our laws. The Home Secretary has been clear that anyone settling in the UK must have a clean criminal record. Well, we had a very fiery one there, didn't we? Plenty more to come. We will have next our very big interview. I'll be joined by one of the heroines of Brexit. 10 years since... for those who wanted Brexit to happen, of course. That's what we'll be discussing. But it's 10 years since the country voted to leave the EU. We definitely won't want to miss that after the break.
You're looking happy.
Well, the forecast looks good.
So you've sorted the travel insurance then?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
A lot of talk at the moment about extremely hot weather across many parts of Europe, especially central and western areas, with more than 40 Celsius expected, especially through parts of central and northern France. I think for Spain, similarly, high 30s, low 40s, but temperatures of 39 Celsius there for Paris, 42, 43 elsewhere for northern and central France. That's highly unusual. Italy also experiencing unusually high temperatures. That could spark a few thunderstorms.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello there, a good evening. This is your latest GB News weather update provided by the Met Office. Hope you've enjoyed the first half of the weekend. It is generally a calm end to the day and transition as we head into tomorrow. The cloud that we've had around across England and Wales today is generally going to break up this evening and overnight. A few more clear spells developing, but we'll probably still see some fog lingering around some English Channel coastal regions and a few showers just to watch out for across the far northwest of Scotland. For most in the southeast, it is going to be another muggy night to come. Temperatures not dropping much below 17 or 19 degrees Celsius, but something a touch fresher across parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland. Some places may just dip down into single figures as we do start off Sunday morning. These showers in the far northwest will still be there first thing in the morning, but generally they will become fewer and further between as we head into the afternoon, and generally parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland and northwestern England are likely to see some of the best sunshine throughout tomorrow. Perhaps more showers developing across northeastern England, and it's now here where we could see some low cloud around at times, maybe even some fog along some coastal regions of northeastern England. And again, the sunshine across parts of Wales, central southern England will be hazy tomorrow at times, so not wall-to-wall sunshine, but it will still be fairly bright and dry for the vast majority of us if you are wanting to head outside. Temperatures across Northern Ireland and Scotland generally similar to where we have been today, into the high teens or low 20s in places, quite pleasant. But towards the south we are starting to build in the heat and humidity, highs of 31 degrees Celsius in London. As we head into the new working week, it's probably a reversal of fortunes now, the cloud heading up towards more northern regions, a few showery outbreaks possible, maybe even some showers and thunderstorms into the afternoon for parts of Wales and central England. But it's here where we have an amber extreme heat warning in place from Monday into Tuesday, with temperatures as we head throughout next week potentially climbing into the mid-30s at times. That is quite exceptional for June, with our highest temperature in June ever recorded of 35.6 degrees Celsius, so it's worth taking care as we head throughout next week.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk
No,
now?
that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Welcome back to the Saturday 5. If you thought that it was difficult for me to get a handle on that panel discussion we just had, and some of you have said as much, then imagine how difficult the break was. Gosh. What fiery arguments we're having tonight, eh?
Fiery women, we are.
I just think the men have come up against three strong women, and it's shocked them, really.
Yeah.
I love strong women.
Yeah,
blowouts.
Not tonight, though.
Oh, always.
We have had some emails in. Bob says human rights are the backbone of society. And Joanne says black culture does not reflect this behaviour. These individuals are outliers.
Lying.
We've had plenty of discussion. We will keep having those arguments
Am
throughout
I
the
allowed
night.
to read misogynist, I think it is?
Go on.
She says that they should be categorised as human responsibilities. And if anyone fails to live up to their human responsibility, then they don't have any rights.
Quite like that perspective. Well, do keep writing in, of course, gbnews.com/your say. Thank you very much for writing in so far. Now, this Tuesday, it will be the 10th anniversary of the Brexit vote. My God. I can't believe it. It's one of those points that sounds. It feels like it was yesterday, but also it does feel like it was both that and 10 years ago. Some people still haven't got over it. Of course, people campaigning for the UK to rejoin the European Union marched through central London today. Well, to discuss that and plenty more, I'm very excited to say that I'm joined now by former Brexit MEP Anne Widdecombe. And thank you very much for joining us. How are you?
I'm very well. I hope you are too.
Very, very well. You probably don't recall, last time we did an interview together, I was dressed up as a beaver.
How could you forget?
It's an odd quirk of the show. Can you paint a picture for us? 10 years ago, what kind of campaign did you have? What are your sort of standout memories from that period?
Well, of course, my real standout memory is everybody's. It was that moment in the dawn of the morning when David Dimbleby said it's now impossible for Remain to win. And I can remember the reaction, because I think the fact of life is that everybody, including Nigel Farage, thought we were going to lose. You know, that not by much, but we nevertheless thought we were going to lose. And the opposite happened. And my memories of that campaign are just simply the sheer slog of trying to make sure that everybody heard the message, the rallies that we held to get over why it was that we wanted to leave, that national sovereignty was the issue, you know, the overriding issue that we wanted to be free to make our own laws, control our own borders, set up our own trade deals, etc. I was very, very committed to that campaign. But I went through it with a streak of pessimism, and I haven't made that mistake since.
It's very interesting, isn't it? That I suppose the Leave campaign did have so many institutional barriers to making that case. It's interesting you mentioned national sovereignty and this being about control. Yeah. Do you think that in the intervening years we've lost even more control, that it's gone sort of contrary to the arguments we were hearing from many in the Leave campaign?
Oh, yes. I mean, the way that I always explain it is to say this. You know, if you have somebody in prison and you open up the door and you say, go forth, you're free, and they don't go forth, and they don't make the most of the freedom, and they stay where they are in prison, that is not the fault of the person who's opened the door. That is the fault of the people who won't make the most of it. And that is exactly what has happened. It happened under the Tories. It's just Labour. Under the Tories and Labour, this great freedom was given to us, and we make no use of it at all. And, you know, we should by now, it would be wrong to say no use because we did actually set up trade deals. That is true. But by now, we should have it tightly controlled. immigration system. And we should have repealed umpteen EU laws, instead of which this current government is taking us, trying to reset, as they call it, which actually means meekly accept the diktats of the EU. So no, we haven't taken back control. And certainly as far as immigration goes, I would say we've probably got less control.
Do you think that's why, so looking at some Ipsos polling recently, 51% say on the economy, no, 65% say that on the economy Brexit has been a failure, and 52% negative impact of Brexit on immigration. Those two topics are dominating the current political discourse. Who do you lay the blame at most of all for the fact that Brexit has been seen as a failure?
I think, first of all, I think the Brexiteers, we didn't sit on our laurels and say, oh, we've won. We always knew the aftermath was going to be a bit difficult. But I think we have not made the case sufficiently strongly that simply nobody is taking advantage of freedoms. And as I say, you can't blame getting the freedoms for the fact that nobody is taking advantage of them. But let me come to the economy and let me recommend an excellent book called Brexit, The Facts Strike Back. I'm sure you must have heard of it umpteen times in the last few days. But it really is totally readable, totally intelligible. You don't have to be an economic student. A breakdown of the arguments that have been made, showing that, in fact, Brexit has not been damaging, but equally it has not been as exciting as it should be because nobody has made it so.
Can I just point one parallel that I find really, really interesting? 4 days ago, news came that between 2015 and 2023, Northern Ireland grew by 16.5%. It's outpaced every single region in Great Britain, and I'm sure there are a number of reasons for that. However, one of those reasons is, of course, that it remains have fairly unrestricted goods trade with the EU. Do you not think that there are some, we have a ready-made parallel there over the water as to what a region could have done had it stayed in that free goods, in the market for goods, in the free trade of goods?
I mean, the fact is, first of all, Northern Ireland would rather it hadn't been left in the EU, which effectively it was. I mean, I know we didn't call it that, but effectively it was. But secondly, the fact is very straightforward, that if we had stayed in the single market, we would have still been banned by free movement and a whole load of EU laws. We wanted to take back control. Now, we betrayed Northern Ireland. I don't think when I say we, I mean the government of the day, which is Boris, betrayed Northern Ireland by leaving it behind. But it at least has made the most of the situation it's in. We have not.
Just a final question from me before we open to the panel. More in Common has found, of course, the result of all of this conversation we're having, people's dissatisfaction with Brexit, is that 51% of voters now support another Brexit referendum in the next 5 years. What do you say to those marching today and those who might want another referendum?
Well, I say just make it very clear before you call this referendum what would be involved in rejoining. It wouldn't be a simple matter of picking up where we left off. It would be a matter of joining the euro. It would be a matter of paying a huge rejoining fee. It would be a matter of continuing thereafter to pay an enormous fee every year. It would mean accepting, as I say, free movement. And that would completely demolish any hope that we've got of recontrolling immigration. And frankly, I still see the only hope for that is being a reform government. I can't see the other parties doing it. They haven't done it.
Yeah. One final question, and I'm going to hand over to Based. Go ahead.
So I've spoken to a lot of people and gotten their views about Brexit, and many of them feel as though Brexit was a failure because, correct me if I'm wrong here, the genesis of Brexit was to stop European migration, well, European mass migration, but now it's 2026 and that has been replaced with pretty much third world migration, which I think personally is much worse just because, with at least with European migration, you had some common shared values. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, yes, it's quite true that we have got a lot of uncontrolled immigration and an increase in perfectly lawful immigration from the third world. But again, That is the choice of the government of the day. You know, you can set immigration rules. You can set the terms by which people come here. As I say, no advantage has been taken of Brexit. Now, the door's been opened, but we're still stuck in the cell because we're frightened, basically. And, you know, EU didn't expect us to react like that. They were terrified, and in private they said so, that we were going to become Singapore on Thames, that we were going to become, we're going to become, not Singapore on Thames, we were going to become, Singapore on Thames, what am I talking about? That was what they were afraid of, that we would become economically ginormously competitive. And almost the first thing we did was put our corporation tax up to the same level as France, and then sit and gawk in amazement as firms went off to the Irish Republic. I mean, honestly, you couldn't make it up. Here was freedom. That's what we did with it.
Well, we're going to have to leave it there, Anne. Thank you so very much for joining us. This will be relitigated over and over in the next week, won't it? Anne Widdecombe, a former Brexit MEP there, known to all of you, I'm sure, watching. Still to come tonight, we'll bring you footage of one of the world's most deadly creatures as you've never seen it before. Yes, it's Dr. Renee Hundekamp. I'm joking.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Which of us doesn't like a puffin? Which of us doesn't like a dolphin? I mean, come on, we love these creatures. I bet your fellow guest loves them. Let's ask him, shall we?
OK. Rafe, how do you feel about dolphins?
Yeah, there's nothing uniquely British about the dolphin. There are very few uniquely British species. And the key point here is that it's young nations that use flora and fauna. Nations with a proud history and legacy, such as Britain does, we celebrate our past. We celebrate our great achievements. Banknotes are a symbol of national identity, and they are symbols of sovereignty. They rank right up there with the flag, the crown, with our coat of arms, and our honour system as symbols of the British nation. We live in an age now where people are so ignorant of history. Banknotes are one of the very few occasions when people actually get to be introduced to historical figures and learn about them.
GB News, the People's Channel. GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
He or she is obliged to write an equality impact assessment for every single policy that Kingston Council does. This person has come up with something which is simply true. Women do more domestic tasks than men. Women like to look nice. This person has stated something true. For this, the Kingston Council has now, and I'll read it out, they've apologised. They've issued a statement. Guess what? They've launched an investigation. And now they're going to review their procedures. I mean, this is a woke doom spiral. And it's the faster we can get away from these equality impact assessments, the public sector equality duty that drives all this, the better.
The People's Channel. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Dorothea, how does it feel being here today, joining other veterans?
Everybody was so friendly in those days. We had one purpose in life, which was to free the world from Nazism and to get on with enjoying life. And it's so nice now that still looking to see if any of us are left, poor old dears, so they can say thank you and we can get together and talk about it. After the war, you simply didn't mention it. It went out of everybody's consciousness.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Welcome back to the Saturday 5. Coming up from 8, of course, it'll be the Saturday Scrap. But now it's time for another trigger tantrum. Lizzie?
Oh, this is my favourite one I've ever seen. It's a baby, the cutest little tiger, having the biggest tantrum I've ever seen, and now has become a TikTok sensation and got more followers than Kim Kardashian. Take a look.
Oh, that's too cute.
I can have one of those. What it reminds me of is I'm a lover of cats, as everybody knows. I have 2 Siamese cats who rule my life. And I always say that cats might be small, but you would not want to be in a room with a really angry cat. Give me a dog any day.
Agreed.
I have to say that I remember when I first started seeing my ex-husband, our cat just leapt at him and ran up him and nearly attacked his throat. And my mum said, that's a sign. The cat knew.
Well, speaking of animals, Grumpy Grandad has written in. He says, Kai, it's time that beaver suit got another rating.
Hey, Grumpy Grandad likes that beaver suit.
I would say obsessed. Grumpy,
But you know,
if you're watching.
Peter Jeffries also has written in to say that today you've got 3 beavers against 2 trees.
3 beavers against 2 trees.
3 of us.
Goodness me! Wow.
We are nibbling at your roots.
Can we not talk about my beaver on this?
Is that appropriate? Yeah.
My mother's watching.
Well, you got your beaver out at Ascot, didn't you?
No, I didn't. Kai, at all.
The next one, Kai, actually is quite sweet, from Sandra Thomas, I think.
Oh.
It says, I'm Welsh. I don't agree with most of Kai's opinions, but I really do like him.
Well, this is possibly from Just the Legend. This is going a bit too far even for me. Says, I know you lot take turns as to who is the top dog each week, but Kai really should be the permanent lead. My goodness! Wow, that was 50 quid well spent to get that comment placed.
By your mother.
That was brilliant. Yeah. Very good. Well, of course, we will keep the debate flowing throughout the rest of the final hour, but don't go anywhere, because that final hour is called, of course, the Saturday 5 Extra. We're going to let our hair down. Anything can happen. I think tonight's show has shown that really anything and everything will happen. What could go wrong? So do get ready. We will be back in a moment just after your weather.
Today, clouds overhead, total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, a good evening. This is your latest GB News weather update provided by the Met Office. Hope you've enjoyed the first half of the weekend. It is generally a calm end to the day and transition as we head into tomorrow. The cloud that we've had around across England and Wales today is generally going to break up this evening and overnight. A few more clear spells developing, but we'll probably still see some fog lingering around some English Channel coastal regions. And a few showers just to watch out for across the far northwest of Scotland. For most in the southeast, it is going to be another muggy night to come. Temperatures not dropping much below 17 or 19 degrees Celsius, but something a touch fresher across parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland. Some places may just dip down into single figures as we do start off Sunday morning. These showers in the far northwest will still be there first thing in the morning, but generally they will become fewer and further between as we head into the afternoon, and generally parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland and northwestern England are likely to see some of the best sunshine throughout tomorrow. Perhaps more showers developing across northeastern England, and it's now here where we could see some low cloud around at times, maybe even some fog along some coastal regions of northeastern England. And again, the sunshine across parts of Wales, central southern England will be hazy tomorrow at times, so not wall-to-wall sunshine, but it will still be fairly bright and dry for the vast majority of us if you are wanting to head outside. Temperatures across Northern Ireland and Scotland generally similar to where we have been today, into the high teens or low 20s in places, quite pleasant. But towards the south we are starting to build in the heat and humidity, highs of 31 degrees Celsius in London. As we head into the new working week, it's probably a reversal of fortunes now, the cloud heading up towards more northern regions, a few showery outbreaks possible, and maybe even some showers and thunderstorms into the afternoon for parts of Wales and central England. But it's here where we have an amber extreme